Imagine, if you will, the smell of burnt cedar. Not the pleasant spa day kind you might be thinking of, but the sharp, acrid scent of something ancient catching fire in a place that hasn't seen rain in months.
Yeah, and mix that with the dust of a limestone alleyway in 18th century Cairo.
Right. It is dawn. The sun is just starting to bleed over the horizon, and the heat is already rising off the stones. It creates those little shimmers in the air that make everything look slightly unreal.
It's suffocating kind of heat, the kind that sticks your clothes to your skin and makes the air feel heavy in your lungs.
Hmm.
And right in the middle of this atmospheric pressure cooker, you have a young woman named Nahri.
And if you walked past her in the street, you honestly wouldn't look twice.
No, you wouldn't. She looks like a nobody. Street rat. Just another face in the crowd trying to scrape by.
Exactly. She is a hustler living on the absolute margins of society. And right now, as we open the story, she is in the middle of a very specific, very dangerous grift.
She is swindling a wealthy Turkish official in his own home. It's a classic setup, really. It's a scene that tells us everything we need to know about who she is before the magic even starts.
She's telling this guy, who is clearly just overindulged and superstitious, that he is possessed by the evil eye. And she, the benevolent, mysterious healer, is going to sell him a cure.
And what is this cure? It is basically lime rind and walnut oil.
It's a salad dressing.
It is. She is selling this man a salad dressing to cure a spiritual affliction. It is literally a vinaigrette.
But here's the kicker, and this is crucial for understanding the journey we are about to take today. Nahri does not believe in magic.
Not a word of it.
Not at all. She thinks it's all superstition for the gullible. To her, this is just a game. It is economics.
Right, it's survival.
Yeah.
She is looking at this wealthy man and thinking, you have too much money and I have none, and I'm going to correct that imbalance using your own stupidity.
But the game is about to change. Because while Nahri thinks she is just a con artist, the reader, and eventually Nahri herself, is about to discover that she is wrong. Because she has an ability she can't explain.
She's been ignoring it, explaining it away, but it's there. It's not magic to her. It's just a quirk, a survival trait.
She can sense illness.
Yeah, she doesn't just see a sick person. She sees sickness like a dark shadow hovering over a lung. She can hear the rattle of bad blood in a vein distinct from the sound of healthy blood.
She has this diagnostic MRI built into her brain, but because she's a skeptic, she uses it to run scams. She uses the truth to sell lies.
Until the czar ceremony. This is the moment where the skepticism hits a brick wall.
The czar. This is the turning point. A czar is a traditional exorcism ritual, often involving music and dance to appease spirits. Nahri is hired to perform one for a possessed girl.
Again, she thinks she's just putting on a show to make a few coins. She's tired, she wants to go home, but she needs the money. So she starts singing.
And this is where the details really matter. She isn't just humming a popular tune from the Cairo streets. She starts singing in a language she doesn't understand.
A language she has known instinctively since she was a child, but has never heard another human speak. It has just always been there rattling around in her head.
It's a language that feels like it's vibrating in her bones. She sings, "O warrior of the djinn," and suddenly the atmosphere in that courtyard shifts.
It doesn't just get hot, the air gets heavy. It presses down on you like a physical weight. The possessed girl she is trying to cure freezes solid.
A voice screams in Nahri's head, a voice that isn't hers, and then the walls of reality just blow open.
And that is the moment the con goes catastrophically wrong.
Yeah.
She hasn't just tricked a mark. She's accidentally pierced the veil between worlds.
She has summoned a warrior of fire who has been sleeping for centuries. And let me tell you, he is not happy to be awake.
Welcome to our deep dive into The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I'm so excited to dig into this today.
This is one of those books that absolutely stays with you. We are going to unpack this world today because on the surface, it looks like high fantasy.
We have magic, we have flying carpets, we have monsters made of fire and water.
But if you peel back the layer of glamour, this is a political thriller. It is closer to a spy novel or a family drama than a typical quest story.
Absolutely. It is a story about the blood-soaked history of empires. It's about the cost of survival. And at the center, it is about a girl from the streets of Cairo who has to use every ounce of her street smarts to survive a royal court filled with magical monsters who all seem to hate each other.
We are tracking Nahri's transformation from a Cairo thief to a reluctant player in a deadly magical civil war. And to understand this, we have to unpack three distinct layers.
The human world she leaves behind, the brutal history of the djinn, or Daiba, as we'll learn, and the complex political landscape of Daevabad, the city of brass itself.
So let's start with the skeptic in the City of the Dead. Let's really talk about Nahri.
We touched on her con artistry,
Yeah.
but I want to dig deeper into her characterization. Why is she such a compelling protagonist? Because honestly, she is not always nice.
She is selfish. She is prickly.
I think she's compelling because she is defined by her isolation. Nahri has no family. She has no history. She wakes up in Cairo with no memory of parents.
She speaks this native language that no one else in Cairo speaks. Not the ruling Turks, not the French invaders, not the Egyptians.
She is completely alone in a crowded city. Imagine walking through a bustling metropolis where you don't fit in with any group, where you are fundamentally a species of one.
And that isolation breeds cynicism. That opening scene with the Turkish Basha, she basically diagnoses him with being rich.
It's a brilliant introduction to her worldview. He looks at this guy and sees that he's healthy. He's just gluttonous, wealthy, and bored. But she plays the part.
She rolls her eyes behind her veil. She creates this elaborate theatrical performance about the evil eye, and she sends him off to an oasis for a week.
Why? Just to get him out of his house so she can rob it later?
It is brutal, but it's pragmatic. She's stealing to pay bribes. She's stealing to keep a roof over her head. She has this dream of going to Istanbul to study medicine properly at a hospital, but she's stuck in the cycle of grifting just to eat.
She wants to be a healer, but she has to be a thief to survive. That tension is key. She wants to heal, but the world forces her to hurt or deceive.
But there's a crack in her skepticism, and that is the gift we mentioned earlier. She dismisses it as just being observant, but deep down she knows she's different.
And that difference explodes during that czar ceremony.
Let's unpack that summoning. She sings the song, The Air Goes Crazy, and suddenly she is running for her life. She ends up in the cemetery, the famous City of the Dead in Cairo, and that is where she meets him, Dara.
The arrival of Dara is the catalyst for the entire narrative. He is a Daevabad warrior. And the first interaction is so telling. You expect this ancient warrior to be imposing, maybe regal.
And he is, but his primary reaction to Nahri, he is terrified.
Terrified. He's a magical warrior fire. Why is he afraid of a teenage girl?
Because of what she is. To him, she smells like dirt. She smells human, but she speaks his language, the language of the purebloods.
It breaks his categorization of the world. It's like a dog suddenly speaking French. It is wrong. It defies the laws of his universe. He is recoiling from her because she represents a contradiction he cannot process.
And before they can figure it out, they're under attack. And this introduces the real threat in the early part of the story, the Ifrit.
Now, we need to clarify the lore here immediately. The Ifrits aren't just generic bad guys. In this world, the Ifrits are the djinn who refuse to submit to the laws of Suleiman, the Prophet Solomon.
They are intelligent, vengeful creatures of pure fire. And they are hunting Nahri. They want her dead.
The scene in the cemetery is visceral. They use the dead ghouls to hunt. You have corpses rising from the graves possessed by fire spirits. It is not just a magical battle. It is a horror movie.
It really is. And amidst this chaos, Dara realizes something about Nahri. She gets cut during the fight. And instead of bleeding out, the wound closes instantly.
She heals herself.
That is the revelation. She is a Nahid. She is a descendant of the powerful healing tribe that once ruled the entire djinn world.
In an instant, she goes from being a nobody street thief to lost royalty. But that royalty comes with a massive target on her back.
Because apparently everyone thought the Nahids were dead.
Exactly. They were wiped out in a war centuries ago. Finding a living Nahid is like finding a living Romanov in 1920s Paris. It changes the political landscape instantly.
If she is alive, the balance of power shifts. The Nahids were the only ones who could heal the djinn effectively. Without them, the djinn race is slowly dying out, or at least suffering.
Her blood is liquid gold.
So Dara whisks her away. He basically kidnaps her to save her life. And this kicks off our second part of the deep dive, the history of hatred and the flight. Because Dara, he's got some baggage.
Baggage is the understatement of the century. Dara is walking trauma. But before we get to the trauma, we have to clear up the terminology. Because Dara gets very offended if you call him a djinn.
Right. He corrects her immediately. He is a Daeva. What is the difference? Why does it matter so much to him?
It's a political and racial distinction. Djinn is the umbrella term for the magical race created from smokeless fire. But Dara belongs to the Daevabad tribe. They see themselves as the original pure magical beings.
Padara djinn is a slur.
It's a term associated with commoners or those who submitted to Suleiman's punishment. He clings to the identity of Daeva because it is the only thing he has left of his tribe.
And Suleiman's punishment was stripping them of their powers right.
It was binding them. Suleiman, the human prophet, found the jinn too chaotic and dangerous, so he used a powerful ring to bind them to rules.
He took away their ability to shape-shift freely, to roam the earth unchecked.
The Daevabad people resent this deeply. They view humans as oppressors. To them, Suleiman wasn't a hero, he was a tyrant who crippled their race.
Which makes his relationship with Nahri extremely complicated since she is half human. But let's talk about Dara's specific history. We learn that he wasn't just a warrior, he was a slave.
This is the darkest part of the lore, and it anchors the emotional weight of the story. Dara has an emerald ring. Nahri, being a thief, tries to steal it while he's sleeping.
Classic Nahri move.
But when she touches it, she gets sucked into his memories.
And what she sees is horrifying. It is not just a memory, it is a nightmare.
She sees that for centuries, Dara was a weapon. He was bound by that ring to human masters. He was forced to grant wishes. And these weren't Disney wishes. These were wishes for conquest, for murder, for destruction.
He mentions a title, The Scourge of Quizzy.
That title alone sends shivers down your spine. The Scourge of Quizzy.
It is terrifying. Quizzy was a city he destroyed. He was forced to burn it to the ground, to slaughter every man, woman, and child because his human master wished it.
He had no choice. His body moved against his will. The psychological weight of that is immense. He hates humans not just because he's a snob, but because he was enslaved by them.
He has PTSD on a multi-century scale. He remembers the faces of the people he killed.
And yet here he is, sworn to protect a half-human girl. Their dynamic on the road to Daevabad is fantastic. They're stuck on a flying carpet and later a giant bird called a rook, and they just bicker constantly.
It is a great clash of personalities. Nahri is pragmatic. She just wants to live. She doesn't care about ancient blood feuds. She thinks his prejudice is stupid.
Dara is ancient prejudiced and incredibly haughty. He is constantly critiquing her manners, her language, her smell. He calls her ignorant. She calls him a relic.
But they bond. There is a real shift on that journey.
They do. Dara starts to see her as his Banu Nahida, his mistress or lady. He sees her as the hope for his people, the Daevas. If a Nahid is alive, maybe the Daevas can regain their power.
And Nahri, well, she starts to see him as the only person in the world who is actually on her side. He saved her from the ghouls. He is teaching her about her heritage. He is the bridge to who she really is.
But the world is definitely not on their side. They get attacked at the river by a Merid, a water spirit.
This is a crucial expansion of the world. It is not just fire versus human. You have the water spirits, the Merid. They are powerful, ancient, and they hate the djinn too.
A Peri named Kaizur, a different type of magical being like a fairy, but much more dangerous, intervenes to help them. We find out Kaizur once saved Dara from slavery.
But the Merid kills Kaizur brutally.
It establishes that the board is set against them. It is not just the Ifrit hunting them. The water spirits are involved.
The political board is active and pieces are moving from all directions. It feels like the whole world wants them dead before they even reach the city.
So they are rushing toward Daevabad, the city of brass. It is the only place that is supposed to be safe. And this brings us to part 3, the prince and the divided city.
We leave the dusty desert and shift perspective completely. Suddenly, we are in Daevabad.
The city of brass. A city hidden behind a veil built of brass to hold enchantments located somewhere near the borders of the human world, but invisible to it.
It is lush, it is magical, and it is a political pressure cooker. Imagine a city that is beautiful but feels like a prison.
And here we meet our second protagonist, Prince Ali, Alizide al-Qahtani, and he is not what you expect from a fantasy prince.
Not at all. He is not the dashing hero. He is the second son. He is awkward. He is deeply religious. And his main hobby, economics.
He is literally auditing the city's finances when we meet him. He cares about tax brackets and infrastructure.
I really love Ali. He is a nerd with a sword.
He is. He is a Gaziri. There's the ruling tribe of Jinn right now. But he has a social conscience that is causing him a lot of trouble. He is secretly funding the Tanzim.
The Tanzim, that's the rebellion.
Yes, they are a radical group fighting for the rights of the Shafit.
We really need to stop and unpack the Shafit because this is the core social conflict of the city. What exactly is a Shafit?
A Shafit is a mixed blood, half human, half Jinn. In Daevabad, the caste system is brutal. You have the purebloods, the Jinn tribes who rule, and then you have the Shafit who are treated as vermin.
They live in the slums. They are denied basic rights. They are constantly abused by the purebloods.
And the purebloods hate them because human blood dilutes the magic. Or at least that's the excuse.
Partly practical, sure, since Shafit are weaker magically. But it is mostly prejudice. Remember, Jinn see humans as dirt, so the Shafit are seen as polluted.
They are walking evidence of sin in the eyes of the purists. Ali, despite being a pure-blood prince, sees the injustice. He is funneling money to help them build clinics and schools. He is trying to be a good person in a corrupt system.
Now, the sources we're looking at present this conflict without taking a side, and we won't either. The book portrays the Tanzim in a complex light. To Ali, they represent a chance at equality. To the ruling class, they are dangerous insurgents threatening stability.
It's an impartial look at systemic inequality within this fantasy world. Ali's involvement is where his personal morality clashes with his political reality. But the King Ali's father, King Ghassan, he is not having it.
King Ghassan is a terrifying figure because he is so deeply pragmatic. He isn't a cartoon villain. He maintains peace through sheer ruthlessness.
He knows Ali is funding the rebels. He is watching him. And he uses Ali's own moral compass against him. He manipulates Ali by threatening the very people Ali is trying to save.
There is a scene that really shows how messed up this world is. The bronze boat.
This scene is hard to read, but absolutely essential. It is a method of execution. Shafid rebels are put onto a boat made of brass. The metal is enchanted to heat up. It becomes molten.
The prisoners have a choice. Jump into the dark lake and drown, or stay on the boat and be boiled alive by the metal.
And Ali has to watch this.
Worse,
Yeah.
as the Quaid, the commander of the guard, he is forced to oversee it. He watches a Shafit boy his own age die screaming.
It highlights his internal torture. He is part of the system he hates. He wants to save people, but his family is the boot on their neck. He feels complicit in every single death.
Speaking of family, we have to mention Munted here, the heir.
Ali's older brother. On the surface, he is a playboy. He drinks wine, he sleeps around, he seems shallow. But as the book goes on, we realize he protects Ali.
He constantly tries to cover for Ali's treasonous activities. It is a complex love-hate relationship. Muntahir knows the burden of the crown that is coming, and he's trying to keep his idealistic little brother from getting himself executed.
He plays the fool to survive the court.
So we have this absolute powder keg of a city. You have got the oppressed Shafit, the ruthless king, the conflicted prince, and then Nahri and Dara crash the party, literally.
Part 4. Convergence. The healer in the viper's nest. Nahri and Dara arrive at the gates of Daevabad, and immediately there is incredible tension.
Because Dara is a Daeva, and the city is ruled by the Gaziri.
Context is key here. The Gaziri Ali's family conquered the city from the Nahri's ancestors. Dara is a relic of the war where the Gaziri slaughtered his people.
He hates them with every fiber of his being. To him, seeing a Gaziri banner on the walls of his city is a profound insult. He immediately starts a fight at the gates. He is ready to kill right then and there.
But King Ghassan plays this brilliant masterclass chess move. He doesn't throw them in a dungeon. He welcomes Nahri as a lost princess.
It is a trap disguised as a homecoming. Ghassan forces her into a political corner. He acknowledges she is a Nahid, which makes her technically the rightful owner of the city in the eyes of the Daevas.
But by bringing her into the palace, he keeps her under surveillance. He separates her from Dara, and he forces her to prove she's a healer.
Which is a massive problem because, as we established earlier, Nahri is a fraud.
In her mind, she is. She knows street tricks, she knows how to swindle, but she doesn't know the complex magical healing of her ancestors.
She is terrified she is going to be exposed as a fake and executed. She is studying frantically in secret, trying to learn years of medical magic in a matter of days.
There's this great moment, the banana peel moment.
It sounds silly, but it is so pivotal. She is trying to learn how to stitch wounds with magic. She is practicing on a banana. She has to stitch the peel back together without damaging the fruit inside. It is a test of precision and control.
And she finally does it.
She does. It represents her transition. She stops being just a con artist and starts accepting her power. She realizes she isn't just a scanner for illness, she can actually fix it.
She feels the magic knit the peel together. It is her first real taste of agency in this new world.
And while she is learning, she wanders into the library. And who does she find? Ali.
Their meeting is fantastic. You have Ali, the awkward intellectual who loves books, and Nahri, the street-smart survivor who is desperate for knowledge. They bond.
Nahri wants to learn about economics and business. She wants to know how the city works so she can survive it. Ali is the only one who takes her seriously intellectually.
He doesn't treat her like a fragile princess or a dangerous weapon. He treats her like a person with a brain.
It is a stark contrast to Dara. Dara is the protector, the link to her past. But Ali challenges her mind.
And this creates a triangle, not just a romantic one, but an ideological one. Dara warns Nahri against the sandfly, his derogatory nickname for Ali. He hates Ali simply for being a Gaziri.
But Nahri sees that Ali is actually a decent person who is trying to help the Shafit. She is torn between her loyalty to the man who saved her and the man who makes sense to her.
And this tension boils over in the infirmary.
Mm.
This is a huge scene. Dara and Ali actually fight.
It is a total brawl, fire and swords.
Yeah.
And Ali gets hurt badly. Dara, the ancient warrior, overpowers the young prince. It is brutal. Dara isn't holding back. He wants to kill Ali. And here is the turning point. Nahri heals Ali.
She saves the enemy.
To Dara, that is the ultimate betrayal. He sees her using her sacred gift, the gift of the Nahids, to save the son of the man who occupies their city.
It drives a wedge between them. Dara feels he is losing her to the very people he swore to destroy. He looks at her and sees a traitor. Nahri looks at him and sees a fanatic.
Which leads us to the inevitable explosion, part 5, the climax on the lake. King Ghassan decides to throw a party on a royal boat.
And he drops a bombshell. He plans to force Nahri to marry Mutatir, the heir.
Whoa, so he wants to unite the bloodlines.
Exactly. It is political brilliance. If Nahri marries Mutatir, their children will be both Gaziri and Nahid. It would cement the Gaziri rule forever and pacify the Dabas.
It solves the civil war before it starts. It also effectively neutralizes Nahri as a threat.
But Dara's having none of it.
Dara is desperate. He knows if Nahri marries Mutatir, she becomes a permanent pawn. She will be locked in that palace forever. He plans a violent extraction. He tells Nahri they are leaving now. He doesn't care about the consequences.
But it goes wrong.
It goes horribly wrong. Dara goes rogue. When the confrontation starts on the boat, something snaps in him. He attacks the ship, and the visual here is terrifying. His ring blazes.
His eyes lose recognition. He stops being Dara the Protector and becomes the scourge of Quasi.
He starts killing everyone.
He becomes the weapon he was made to be. He attacks the soldiers. He attacks Mutatir. He is a whirlwind of fire and death. And Nahri realizes he is going to kill Ali.
She has to make a choice.
It is the ultimate choice between her protector and her humanity. She screams for him to stop, but he's gone. He's lost in the violence. He can't hear her.
So Ali intervenes. He fights Dara.
And Ali has the Zulfikar, the legendary double-bladed sword of his father. There's a holy weapon. Dara tries to kill Ali, and in the chaos, Ali strikes. He doesn't go for the head or the heart. He severs Dara's hand.
The hand with the ring.
The hand with the slave ring. And because Dara's soul is bound to that ring, the moment it is separated from his body, the magic unravels.
He crumbles to ash.
Just like that. The ancient warrior, the love interest, the protector, he's gone. A pile of ash on the deck of a party boat, and Nahri is left standing there alone with the people she tried to flee. The silence after the chaos is absolutely deafening.
Talk about a disaster, and the fallout is immediate. Moving into part 6, the aftermath. Ali doesn't get a medal for saving everyone.
No, he doesn't. Ali is thrown into the lake during the fight. He should drown. But the water spirits, the Marid, speak to him. They demand his true name.
What does that actually mean?
It implies that Ali has a connection to the wire spirits that he doesn't even understand yet. He gives them his name, and they spare him. He washes up alive. But his father, King Ghassan, is furious.
Why? Ali saved the heir.
Because Ali caused a diplomatic nightmare. The Tanzim connection is exposed during the investigation. The chaos on the boat is a disaster.
Ghassan,
Exiled.
he banishes his own son to the human lands. Ali loses everything. His title, his home, his cause. He is cast out.
Not Nahri.
Nahri is heartbroken. She watched Dara die, but she's also cornered. King Ghassan thinks he has won. He tells her the marriage to Muntadir is happening. She will bear his grandchildren.
She will be the broodmare for the Gaziri line. She has no friends, no protector, and no escape.
And this is where the con artist comes back.
This is my absolute favorite moment in the book. Nahri realizes she can't fight with swords, she can't beat them with magic yet, but she knows how to manipulate. She looks at the king and she smiles.
She smiles.
It is the same smile she gave the Marks. She swindled in Cairo. She accepts the marriage. She plays the role of the submissive, defeated princess. But internally, she declares war.
She decides she's not going to be a victim. She's going to take back control. She's going to play the long game and steal the whole kingdom from the inside. She decides to become the queen they feel.
That is chilling.
Yeah.
And awesome. But wait, there is an epilogue. Just when we think it is over, we shift perspective to Kabi the Grand Wazir and Nisreen Nahri's assistant. Throughout the book, they seem like loyal servants of the king.
Right. Nisreen was the one teaching Nahri etiquette and telling her to behave.
The surprise, they are traitors. They are part of the underground rebellion. And they have found something in the wreckage of the boat.
The ring.
They have Dara's ring.
Right.
And because the ring is intact, his soul is still inside it.
So he is not dead.
He is trapped. But Kavya and Nisreen believe Nahri because she is a Nahid, has the power to bring him back. The story ends on this realization. The rebellion isn't over, it has just gone underground, and Nahri is the key to everything.
Okay, let's unpack this as we wrap up. Because this story is wild. It challenges so many tropes. Usually you have the good guys and the bad guys. Here, everyone is compromised.
Exactly. Ali is the good prince, but he is a zealot who accidentally causes chaos and gets people killed. His idealism is dangerous. He thinks he is saving the world, but he is setting it on fire.
And Dara is the victim of slavery, but that trauma has turned him into a monster who is willing to slaughter innocents for his tribe. He is sympathetic, but also terrifying. You want to hug him, but you also want to run away from him.
And Nahri, she is a survivor. But to survive, she has to become a liar. She has to become part of the system she hates. She enters the belly of the beast to cut it open from the inside.
It asks a really provocative question for you to think about. In a world built on ancient blood feuds and systemic oppression, is survival enough? Or does one eventually have to burn the city down to start over?
King Ghassan thinks he is maintaining peace through order. The Tanzim think they are fighting for justice through revolution. Dara thinks he is fighting for his people's existence through vengeance.
And they are all right, and they are all wrong. And that is what makes the City of Brass so compelling. It is messy, it is political, it is bloody.
And the most dangerous person in Daevabad isn't the king with the army. It isn't the djinn with the fire.
No, it's the girl from the streets of Cairo who just realized she can steal the whole kingdom.
Precisely. She has realized that power isn't just magic, it is leverage. And she is the ultimate hustler.
That is a wrap on our deep dive into the City of Brass. If you haven't read it, go pick it up. The details we couldn't cover, the food descriptions, the architecture, the banter are worth it.
And be prepared. This is just book 1 of the Daevabad Trilogy. It gets crazier.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We will see you next time.
Stay curious.